years of Philippine tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin the second part of our program.
Thank you, Undersecretary Batan.
Give us the rainbow people reaching out to sunshine people singing out. Come share our laughter, brother. Come down this big beautiful country. Come and live, and you shall see. We promise you a new horizon, bright as bright can be. So welcome to this big, beautiful country. Bring your heart in this big, beautiful country. Come and live each great new day. Rainbow country, in this is where it's at. Rainbow country, here in a new era. Warm and friendly people wherever you go. Lose yourself, it's here your celebrity. Make yourself a part of the family. Treat yourself in this beautiful country.
The best asset of Philippine tourism is no other than the Filipino people. Filipinos offer to everyone that visits our shores and our islands a distinct grace and warm hospitality that is characterized by a genuine Filipino smile. Our next performance perfectly captures this. Let's all be mesmerized by the Filipino smile.
There is no warmer, more poignant sight than the smile of a Filipino. And that is something that we can introduce to the world.
Three stars in the sun, hope and faith, joy and fun. In times of victory or trial, from the heart comes that radiant smile. Always a Filipino smile. Always a Filipino smile. Always a Filipino smile. I love the Filipino smile. The sun at its fiercest is no match for the soothing, healing Filipino smile. The wind may howl, the storms may rage, gently and times of victory or trial, from the heart comes that radiant smile. Always a Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. I love the Filipino smile. Greeting strangers with peace and grace, saying you are home. Welcome, Filipino smile. An updated arm that draws you back where everything is alright. The Filipino smile. 3 stars in the sun. Hope and faith, joy and fun, in times of victory or trial, from the heart comes that radiant smile. Always a Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. I love the Filipino smile. Say this with me, come on. Always the Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. I love the Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. I love the Filipino smile. The Filipino smile. Okay, up.
Fellow Filipinos, smile. Today, we are bringing you to the future of Philippine tourism. Please welcome Ms. Marie Adriano, Brand and Strategic Planner from DDB Group Philippines, to present this new endeavor of the DOT to all of you.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Makatapos ng higit na 2 taon, unti-unti na tayong bumabangon, ano po? Bumabangon sa gitna ng maraming pagbabago. So how do we move forward? That is the jump-off point, isn't it? Hence, where's the world coming to and where are we at? The tourism landscape in a post-pandemic world is like a cup waiting to overflow. Revenge tourism is not a trend. It is decidedly here, and the momentum is just beginning. You can see from a global perspective that there was, in fact, 84% increase in tourism spending in 2022 and more than 2 times over growth in tourism spending in the ASEAN. The environment is positive and the rebound is inevitable. While we do know that Thailand is the benchmark given the global forecast as shown previously, the Philippines has just so much more opportunity to gain, right? And here's the good news. Looking at this, we are almost at the same levels as 2022, and it's only the first half of the year. And that, I believe, is very positive. Coming from a culture shift, naturally, changes in the consumer follow. Who are they? We call them the changed traveler, for the very reason that traveling has come to mean more than just leisure. We find that the travelers' preferences for experiences have in turn influenced their priorities and their values. They are seeking real-world experiences, meaning immersing in other culture. They are seeking curated experiences, meaning the unique or out of the ordinary, and the willingness to spend money on those experiences. On top of the typical sun, beach, and sightseeing, which is still, of course, the #1 motivation, opportunities continue to combine with new experiences that are growing in demand. We see more specific tourism products and offerings that are diverse and even purposeful. For many Gen Z travelers in particular, being stuck at home in the last few years had driven them to seek purpose in their lives and to seek travel as a means to find that purpose. So if there's anything that the pandemic has taught them, if there's anything the pandemic has taught all of us, is that we cannot take things for granted again. Not to put things off, and to ensure that every experience and every encounter counts. Search for the new, seek the unique, love life, and be present in the moment. Quality over quantity, authentic experiences that give them a taste of local culture and explore hidden gems that friends back home do not know about. They would love to partake in a day in the life of the locals that they are visiting, and if they could leave a positive impact, then so much the better. The change traveler, of course, wants to have fun, but they're also saying that they're looking for more things. Things like purposeful travel, unique experiences, authentic local flavor, self-growth, and self-discovery. And so knowing all of this, knowing what new things that they are seeking and expecting to make travel truly worthwhile, a brand enhancement is imperative to stay competitive and relevant. We can choose to stay where we are or choose to pivot and realize the vision of the future. What they are seeking today and what interests them to travel today, we have it. The wonderful thing is we actually have it and more. It's just that they don't know it yet. So knowing what we've gathered so far, what then is the space that we can own in the hearts of the changed traveler? Diving into social listening, which follows public social listening sites, love is the positive theme that they associate with our country, frequently mentioned in high volume globally. And while fun remains a positive theme and certainly part of the Pinoy DNA, there's less volume of mentions. Now, I'm sure many of you who watch YouTube regularly are familiar with those behind me. They who have been here, and many of them who currently stay here, have in their own platforms see the beauty of our country with their own eyes. Yes, some of them came for our incomparable beaches, but in their journey, they've come to realize that there's simply more to love about the Philippines. They have come to discover that beyond beaches, we actually love what they're looking for and even more. Our multiple facets as a tourism destination are yet to be truly discovered, and there is a golden opportunity here that we've only scratched the surface. We are blessed with a rich cultural heritage not found elsewhere, with over 120 languages and dialects, where cultural traditions are as varied as our 7,641 islands, of indigenous peoples who, with their own unique roots, add color, texture, and richness to who we collectively are, where 500 years of Christianity, 600 years of Islam live as one. A history so rich that today the genteel past sits quietly in the middle of a dynamic city, and in our own distinct way blends modern and tradition into an interesting whole. No matter how diverse, As a people, we are all the same when we love. Love works for us more than any other country.
Thank you, Marie Adriano from DDB Group Philippines. With these new data shared, we invited change travelers to tell their stories. Let us listen to Maan Chua as she sings her story of love for a new kind of travel.
Sumasayaw ang langit habang lupa'y umaawit. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Sumasayaw ang langit habang lupa'y umaawit.
Your heart is always full of gratitude. Let us welcome Angge, who will tell her story of love, which is also a story of gratitude.
Hi, I am Angge and I am a change traveler. When you love, it's things the old encounters that made you see the brightest of tomorrows ahead of you. The people, the adventures, the place that made you who you are to be. Hope for the future is the strongest form of love. To the tourism industry and all its workers, salamat.
Ako'y nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng sumabay sa paglalakbay ko patungo sa aking pangarap. Lagi ko kayong tanaw sa paglipad. Sabi nila di ko raw kaya, lang mapapala, wala raw pag-asa. Huwag kang bibig ng matay, puro panggagaya. Pero salamat sa lahat ng naniwala. Naniwala na wala lahat ng pangamba. Nagsimula magmula nung makasama ka. Di ko na kailangan pa ng iba. Halika may sikreto ako ating natin lang. Sige! Alam mo ba di makakaya nang wala ka? Yeah! Walang makakatumba sa atin kahit ano pa mang halaga. Ako'y nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng sumabay sa paglalakbay ko patungo sa aking pangarap. Hey! Lagi ko kayong tanaw sa paglipa. Ako'y nagpapasalamat sa mga naniwala sa aking abilidad, sa pagkakako na banayan. Hey! Tatanawin ko kayo sa aking paglipas. Salamat, thank you very much. Salamat, thank you very much.
We thank you for believing in what lies beneath the wonders of our islands. When we start believing in what we have, then everyone else will feel the same. And what a home we have, because there's just so much to love.
Ayate. Gugma. Amor.
Mahal.
Ayat. Lugod.
Pagkamoot.
Lasa.
Across our over 120 languages and dialects in the Philippines, we recognize that love is the driving force behind every endeavor. Love gives us hope. It propels us to dream. It encourages us to give our best in everything that we do. It encapsulates everything we want the world to see, hear, and feel about the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the tourism campaign of the Department of Tourism. Love the Philippines. A story fueled by love. Love for oneself, for one another, and for our country, the Philippines.
Gumalaw, gumalaw, umikot, sumayaw, umitak, pumalakpak, tumalon, lumipad, palayain, sayaw, na nasa puso, ipamahagi sa buong mundo. Humiyaw, gumalaw, umikot, sumayaw, umitak, pumalakpak, tumalon, lumipad, palayain, sayaw, na nasa puso, ipamahagi sa buong mundo.
Timeless and universal, love resonates with a broad range of audiences while remaining deeply personal, creating that desire and sense of urgency to experience the captivating charm of the Philippines. Behold! Love at the heart of the Filipino experience. From our rich traditions and natural wonders to our vibrant dances, colorful festivals, and savored with love. Love the Philippines, our enhanced tourism campaign. And now, let us show you the many reasons to love the Philippines.
You've worked to achieve and deserve to experience the best in life. As As you rise above the rest, it's time to have a break. Where there's more fun than usual, where there's more joy to embrace. Where the world and your time stops, so you can see its beauty. To love the world and feel how it loves you back. Grab that chance to be free and merry. And feel the genuine warmth of our welcome. And a taste of home, where we treat you as part of our family. As we go the extra mile to lift up your the warmest smiles from new friends. Navigating adventures you'll never forget. The best is yet to come, and expect nothing less. We give the world our best. Discover why it's easy to love the Philippines.
Bakit natin nililibot ang mundo? Para sa ginhawa, para hanapin ang sarili. Pero dito sa ating mga isla, higit pa ang mararanasan. Dito, may pagtanggap ng buong-buo na kaya nating ipagmalaki. Kahit ang mga lugar na di madalas nilalakbay, puno ng kulay at ganda. Ang dagat, kasing lawak ng imahinasyon. Ang hinahain, walang katulad ang sarap. Pati rito sa kailaliman, ramdam na ramdam ang buhay. Pag-abot di mo sa Pilipinas, di mahuman ang pagbiyahe. Labaw pa sa lano nga kalipay o kasalya, naghatag ang paglaom. Sa paghanap ng tinatagong ganda, ito ang ating maaalala. Maiksi man ang buhay at marami pang gustong makita. There's always enough time to love and be loved in return. Love the Philippines.
Tingnan mo yung palad, kalyado mong kamay sa hirap ng buhay. Dami mong problema, naku mo pang ngumiti, no'y biglang nalastig. Saan ka man naroon, huwag kang matatakot, sa baril o patalim, sa bakas na madilim. Pinoy ako, buong aking loob, may agimat ang dugo ko. Pinoy ako, may agimat ang dugo ko.
Thank you very much. At this juncture, may we call on Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco to give her message and to introduce our keynote speaker.
Who loves the Philippines? Raise your hands. Love the Philippines! Tonight, we gather for this most important milestone for the Philippines, celebrating 50 years of the Department of Tourism, half a century devoted to developing, appreciating, and promoting our beautiful country, honoring the work of the tens of thousands of people across the entire tourism sector in this half century of promoting the Philippines. Foremost, I would like to thank President setting the tone very early on in his administration for the robust recovery of the tourism industry by indicating and articulating that tourism is a priority. His Excellency, President Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos Jr. By our President's prioritization of tourism in his development agenda, this has resulted in a whole of government approach towards the development of our industry, where no one is left behind as the Philippines enters this new era of tourism. I thank my fellow cabinet secretaries who have assisted the Department of Tourism through our partnerships and collaborations. And present here this evening is Secretary Jimmy Bautista. I also see Sec. Cheloy Garafil, our Presidential Advisor, Sec. Paul Soriano. And as we continue the work of developing the tourism industry and enter 2024 renewed optimism in advance of representatives for your support for the Department of Tourism. We have with us Deputy Speaker Duke Frasco, Deputy Speaker Raymond Mendoza, Deputy Speaker Camille Villar, accompanied by the members of the House of Representatives. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Tonight, we honor the service and sacrifice of all those who have come before us, and they have graced us with their presence this evening. Truly, we are blessed by the presence of our former Department of Tourism secretaries. May I please ask our former DOT secretaries to kindly rise to be given a rousing round of applause by our DOT family. Thank you so much for your service to our nation. As we mark 50 years of the Department of Tourism, we thank as well our fellow officials of the Department of Tourism, from the central office to our regional offices to our attached agencies, to all of the employees of the Department of Tourism. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Even as we express our profound gratitude to our private stakeholders across the tourism sector, including our friends from the media and fellow workers in government. As we cap the last 50 years of the DOT and welcome this new era of tourism for the Philippines, it is but right that we welcome this opportunity to reintroduce the Philippines to the world. Love the Philippines goes to the very heart of every single Filipino, with the distinct grace and hospitality with which we welcome every guest that comes into our shores, our communities, and our homes. Love the Philippines is a recognition of our natural assets, our storied history, our rich culture and diversity. There is so much more to the Philippines than the fun and adventure that we have so far articulated to the world. For the Philippines is a powerhouse of mega biodiversity, being only one of 18 mega biodiverse countries in the world, a deep well of culture and history, a profound burst and taste of flavor and gastronomy, a tapestry of indigenous peoples and creative communities by whose work of their hands have safeguarded the dignity and integrity of the Filipino identity. This is who we are. These complexities and nuances of the Philippines have yet to be fully articulated to the world, for indeed, the story of the Filipino has yet to be fully told. And we shall tell this story by telling them the story of love. Love the Philippines. Our fellow tourism nations in the United Nations World Tourism Organization in a recent has identified brand repositioning and re-strategizing as a priority in their tourism development agendas. And indeed, if we are to compete with our neighbors in our effort as well to partner with them for Asia to become a powerhouse tourism region in the world, the time has come for us to add to the value proposition of the Philippines by telling the world how much more we have to offer. Facets of our tourism destinations that present a golden opportunity, for we have only scratched the surface thus far. And certainly, the world has noticed that there is so much to love about the Philippines. For while we have only reached half of this year, we have already been able to accept over 2.62 million international visitors, very near our 2.65 million arrivals for 2022. We thank our fellow Filipinos for supporting domestic tourism with no less than 102 domestic trips taken last year, resulting in 1.5 trillion pesos in domestic tourism revenues. This has in turn contributed to 6.2% of our gross domestic product, and overall, the Philippines in 2022 has generated no less than 1.87 trillion pesos in tourism revenues. Most importantly, all of these accomplishments under the Marcos administration has resulted in jobs, livelihood, employment to no less than 5.35 million Filipinos employed across the Philippines in various tourism sectors. With the Philippines' approval of the National Tourism Development Plan, the Department of Tourism, on our golden anniversary, says without reservation that we will go for gold and make the Philippines a tourism powerhouse in Asia. Our President started with the liberalization of entry protocols in line with his efforts to convey the Philippines' openness to the world for travel and tourism. And while it has not yet been a year, we have already participated in various expos around the world that has generated over 3 billion pesos in revenues for the country. We have also continued promoting our country to our fellow Filipinos, marking the Mindanao Tourism Expo, the North Luzon Expo, as well as the recently concluded Central Philippines Expo. For the very first time, the Philippines now has its very own hop-on, hop-off bus tours comparable to key cities around the world. Recognizing that the Filipino tourism worker is the best asset of Philippine tourism, thus far, we have been able to train nearly 70,000 in the Filipino brand of service excellence. Thank you so much for all the hard work of our regional offices. To encourage our fellow Filipinos to become tourism ambassadors for the Philippines all over the world, we have launched the Bisita Be My Guest program that offers incentives for overseas Filipinos who invite their foreign friend, guest, or spouse to the Philippines in exchange for prizes. Among the first partnerships that we entered into with our fellow government agencies was with the DICT. And upon the direction of the President, thus far we have been able to power up over 46 destinations out of 94 that now have stronger internet access. With the collaboration of the DOTR, for which we thank Sec Bautista, we have been able to see a doubling in the number of flights for our key and secondary gateways, including Clark as well as Mactan. If you have been to NAIA Terminal 2 lately, this collaboration has resulted in the immediate warmth of the Filipino welcome that you can feel as you arrive, as the work of our local furniture makers and artisans now pepper the interiors of the airport. Our President would like to enhance the tourism experience overall, and that is why all over the Philippines now we have begun to build 10 tourist rest areas that have an information center, pasalubong center to help our MSMEs, and clean and decent public restrooms for our tourists to use. We are adding 10 more to these tourist rest areas at least this year. To add to the many good news in Philippine tourism, most recently, our fellow tourism nations from all over the world have conveyed their confidence in the Philippines as we reintroduce ourselves to the world by electing the Philippines the Vice President of the United Nations World Tourism Organization General after 24 years. Along with our election as the Chairman of the Commission on East Asia and the host for next year's Joint Commission meetings for East Asia and South Asia. The world is telling us how beautiful our country is, for indeed, in 2022, the Philippines was declared the world's leading beach destination, the world's leading dive destination, and Asia's leading tourist attraction, in addition to the Philippines now being the world's leading country for tourism. Palakpakan po natin ang Pilipinas. As we usher in this golden era for tourism, for our fellow Filipinos, for our beautiful country, let us find it in our hearts to have that burning pride of place for the Philippines, love the Philippines, and to usher us into the continued recovery and vigorous comeback of the Philippines to the world. It is my honor to introduce our President, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Thank you very much to our Tourism Secretary, Secretary Cristina. Please take your seat. Secretary Cristina Frasco. Also with us is the Cebu's 5th District Representative and Deputy Speaker, Congressman Duke Frasco. The former secretaries of the Department of Tourism. And I was just thinking that we really have to say that if we achieve anything today, it is because we stand on the shoulders of giants. So thank you for all the service that you have given the Philippines. All my fellow workers in government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am delighted to join you tonight, and this is a very momentous occasion, celebrating the golden anniversary of the Department of Tourism. In the past 5 decades, the department has been at the forefront in promoting the beauty of our country and an active advocate of developing a stronger sense of pride amongst Filipinos. Over the years, the Department of Tourism has institutionalized an industry that became a major driver of economic growth and shaped our global trademark. Indeed, the potential of the tourism industry as an economic pillar was well seen by my father when he established the Department of Tourism in 1973. And by the way, I'd also like to acknowledge the family members of Manong Pipito, Joe Aspiras, who was the first Secretary of Tourism upon the creation of the department. Carrying this optimism forward, I am affirming my commitment to advancing this country's tourism industry. This prioritization goes deeper than merely stimulating economic activities and generating job opportunities. It springs from the genuine love that you, me, and all of us have for the Philippines. And what better way to express that love than by directly incorporating it into our country's newest tourism campaign slogan, Love the Philippines. This is new branding which we unveiled today. It will serve as our guidepost for the Philippine tourism industry moving forward. Allow me then to express my sincere appreciation to Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco and for the DOT team. Because aside from the promotion of the country's tourist destination, the campaign that you have conceptualized aims to enhance the overall experience of every traveler. Included in that list of targets are to promote regional products, build more infrastructure for ease of travel, and champion green movements, amongst others. These plans are laid down in detail in the National Tourism Development Plan for 23 to 28, which was approved last March. The 5-year plan stemmed from this administration's determination to implement programs that will positively transform our country towards being a tourism powerhouse in Asia in the coming years. Let us therefore strive to translate our golden vision into reality, which also encapsulates this year's milestone theme of GINTO, or Greater Innovations, New Tourism Opportunities. Let this serve as our inspiration as we continue to recover from the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic, to which the tourism sector was undoubtedly one of the hardest hit. Thankfully, strengthened by our communal spirit and fueled by our Filipino determination, a passion to serve, we were able to bounce back and to recuperate. Time and again, we continue to validate that resilient spirit of the Filipinos that is the ultimate driving force, which gives us the strength and courage to continue to always move forward. With that being said, I'm happy to see the latest data on the status of our tourism sector. We continue to see improving figures in tourism revenues, employment, international arrivals, and domestic trips. All of these are encouraging signs that the tourism industry in our country as a whole is headed well towards full recovery. It also conveys a strong message to the world that we are ready and fully equipped to welcome tourists, travelers, as well as investors. To further highlight the department's achievements and triumphs over the years, we are graced by the presence of our former DOT Secretary. This anniversary celebration is also dedicated, of course, to the employees, both the previous and current workforces of the DOT and its attached agencies all over the country. All this is a product of your hard work. Thank you. You are the main drivers in the promotion of our beautiful country. I urge you to continue in your role in sustaining the momentum that we have built towards improving our tourism landscape. Moreover, this night is also about honoring our partners in the private sector and our other tourism stakeholders. To everyone in the industry who offer their services to our guests, to our travel agents, to our hotel staff, airline crews, boat operators, everyone who welcomes our tourists with their warm and bright smiles to make certain that they have a great and memorable experience. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. The genuine warmth of the Filipino people is indeed our greatest asset. The hospitality that we extend to visitors, both local and foreign, is a unique characteristic that is innately embedded in the social fabric of being a Filipino. And it is something that we should all be very proud of. Thank you for supporting the various government projects and for strictly complying with our laws which aim to protect and promote the overall welfare of our country. Let us maintain this partnership. Keep introducing the Philippines to the world as a top-tier tourist hub. On that note, I call on the entire Filipino nation to allow yourselves to be our country's tourism ambassadors. I enjoin you all to be our country's promoters, advocates, and if I may borrow a coined term in this age of social media, be our country's top influencers. Indeed, the Philippines will never run out of places to discover, of meals to enjoy, adventures to experience, people to meet, talents to admire. Let's take pride and celebrate the love we have of our country and our people. For it is the same love that gave meaning to the establishment of the Department of Tourism, and the same love that will propel our tourism industry moving forward into the future. Once again, happy 50th anniversary to the Department of Tourism. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, we would like to call on Tourism Secretary Frasco to present the plaque of appreciation for former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. to President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The Department of Tourism recognizes with profound gratitude the vital role of the late President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr. to the department. As such, we are honored to present this posthumous plaque of recognition. Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, we would like to request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. May we invite on stage the senators, representatives, and cabinet secretaries. Once again, we would like to invite on stage the senators, representatives, and cabinet secretaries. We would also request the DOT former secretaries to please prepare by the side of the stage. Thank you. Please exit to your right. May we invite on stage the DOT former secretaries. May we request the DOT officials